The art of absence, cultivating attraction and mastering your own value. Have you ever found yourself consumed by the desire to reignite a spark, to make someone, perhaps an ex, a drifting connection, or a potential partner, yearn for your presence? The pursuit of affection is a timeless human experience, often clouded by anxieties and misdirected efforts. Many approach this quest with a playbook of tired cliches and manipulative tactics, inadvertently pushing the desired individual further away. The true key, however, lies not in calculated games, but in a profound shift in perspective, a transition from seeking external validation to cultivating internal strength and self-worth. This essay delves into the art of making someone miss you, not as a shallow pursuit of control, but as a journey of self-improvement and the establishment of genuine, balanced connections, drawing wisdom from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism and modern understanding of human psychology. This exploration will reveal how, paradoxically, the most effective way to be desired is to prioritize your own growth, happiness, and fulfillment. The conventional advice on this topic often steers individuals down a path of inauthenticity and desperation. Many men make the critical error of positioning themselves as a backup plan, always available, always eager to please. This manifests in relentless texting, often starting with the innocuous, "Hey, how's it going?" While seemingly harmless, this approach broadcasts a message of neediness, relegating the sender to the dreaded fallback guy zone. When someone perceives you as Plan B, they inherently lack respect and desire. You become the convenient option, the person they turn to when their primary plans falter. This dynamic is inherently unattractive, as it signifies a lack of self-respect and a willingness to settle for less than you deserve. Imagine constantly being available whenever someone needs a favor, a listening ear, or a quick distraction. While altruism is commendable, consistently prioritizing another's needs above your own creates an imbalance, signaling that your time and attention are readily available and therefore less valuable. This is not to advocate for selfishness, but rather for establishing healthy boundaries and recognizing your own worth. Another common pitfall is the attempt to force nostalgia, to artificially recreate past moments in the hope of rekindling lost feelings. This often involves phrases like, "Remember that amazing time we had at?" or referencing inside jokes in a way that feels contrived and manipulative. While reminiscing can be enjoyable, strategically deploying memories to elicit an emotional response often backfires. It feels akin to watching a melodramatic movie scene, where the director's blatant attempts to manipulate the audience into tears only result in resistance and cynicism. The forced nature of the attempt undermines its sincerity, creating a sense of emotional discomfort and prompting the other person to withdraw further. Genuine connection stems from authentic presence, not from manufactured sentimentality. Think about the times you've encountered someone trying too hard to impress you. Did it make you feel closer to them, or did it create a sense of distance and discomfort? The key lies in creating new, authentic experiences rather than dwelling on the past. These ineffective strategies share a common thread. They're driven by a desire for external validation and a fear of losing connection. They stem from a belief that your worth is dependent on the other person's approval and affection. However, this approach is inherently flawed, as it places your happiness and self-esteem in the hands of another. The more you cling to the outcome, the more you diminish your own value and inadvertently push the other person away. The solution lies in embracing a completely different approach, one that prioritizes self-respect, independence, and a detached sense of self-worth. The cornerstone of this alternative approach is the art of detachment, a principle deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Detachment, in this context, does not mean indifference or a lack of care. Rather, it signifies an internal state of emotional independence, where your happiness and self-worth are not contingent on the actions or opinions of others. It's about releasing the grip of attachment to specific outcomes and embracing the present moment with equanimity. The Stoics believed that true happiness stemmed from virtue, reason, and living in accordance with nature, not from external possessions, relationships, or social status. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and values, and accepting what you cannot, the thoughts and actions of others, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience. This internal strength is incredibly attractive, as it signals confidence, independence, and a lack of neediness. When you stop clinging to outcomes and start valuing yourself first, your entire demeanor changes. You exude a grounded confidence that is inherently magnetic. This is not about ignoring the person you desire or playing manipulative hard-to-get games. It's about creating a vibe of self-assuredness and independence that is so captivating that they can't help but wonder what makes you so different. This subtle shift in energy is far more effective than any calculated strategy. Imagine two individuals, one constantly seeking approval and validation, the other radiating self-confidence and contentment. Which one would you be more drawn to? The answer is almost invariably the latter. People are naturally attracted to those who are comfortable in their own skin, who possess a sense of purpose and direction, and who do not rely on external validation for their happiness. One of the most potent ways to cultivate this magnetic pull is to establish a strong, yet effortlessly detached connection from the very beginning. This is not a tactic to be deployed when someone is already pulling away. It's a foundational approach to building relationships. It involves creating a dynamic where the connection is strong, genuine, and enjoyable, but without any sense of desperation or clinging. It's about being present, engaged, and authentic in your interactions, while simultaneously maintaining a sense of emotional independence. This delicate balance is crucial. Too much intensity can be overwhelming and suffocating, while too little engagement can be perceived as disinterest. The key is to find the sweet spot where you're genuinely invested in the connection, but without allowing it to define your sense of self-worth. Consider the analogy of a dance. A good dance partner is attentive, responsive, and connected, but also maintains their own balance and rhythm. They don't cling or lead excessively, but rather move in harmony with their partner, creating a dynamic interplay of energy and movement. Similarly, in a relationship, it's important to be present and engaged, but without losing sight of your own individuality and independence. This allows for a more balanced and fulfilling connection, where both individuals can thrive. The creation of emotional triggers plays a vital role in making someone miss you. These are subtle, yet powerful reminders of your presence that subtly weave themselves into their thoughts and emotions. Think of them as planting memory seeds that blossom unexpectedly long after you parted ways. These triggers aren't about grand gestures or extravagant displays. They're about the small, intentional details that create a lasting impression. The creation of emotional triggers are crucial for the process of making someone miss you. One simple yet effective emotional trigger is scent memory. Our sense of smell is intricately linked to our memories, capable of evoking powerful emotions and vivid recollections. If you have a signature cologne that you consistently wear around someone, that scent becomes inextricably linked to your presence. The next time they encounter that scent, whether on someone else or simply in the air, it will instantly trigger a memory of you. The effectiveness of this trigger lies in its subtlety and its ability to bypass conscious thought. Smells have a direct pathway to the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for processing emotions, making them particularly potent in triggering memories and feelings. The key is to choose a scent that is unique but not overly rare. It should be distinctive enough to be memorable, but not so obscure that they never encounter it again. Conversely, it shouldn't be so common that it's ubiquitous and easily associated with countless other individuals. Finding the right balance is crucial. Consider a scent that reflects your personality and style, one that is both appealing and memorable. The goal is to create a sensory association that is uniquely tied to your presence. Inside jokes are another powerful tool for creating emotional triggers. These shared moments of humor and understanding forge a private connection that is exclusive to the two of you. Funny anecdotes, quirky nicknames, and shared references become like private treasures, understood only by those within the circle. When something triggers a memory of one of those moments, it can evoke a strong emotional response, reminding them not just of the joke itself, but also of the feelings associated with that shared experience. This is something that no one else can replicate, making it a uniquely powerful connection. Think of a specific instance where you and someone else shared a hilarious experience. The memory of that moment is likely imbued with positive emotions and a sense of connection. Inside jokes function in a similar way, creating a bond that is both personal and memorable. The Stoic principles of meaningful action resonate strongly here. The Stoics believed in leaving a lasting impact through actions that were both intentional and virtuous, not through superficial displays or grand gestures. By focusing on creating subtle but meaningful emotional triggers, you are channeling the same philosophy. You are demonstrating that true influence stems not from trying to overwhelm someone with attention or affection, but from planting small, meaningful moments that linger long after you've physically departed. These triggers serve as a constant reminder of the positive experiences and emotions associated with your presence. Timing is crucial when implementing these strategies. Emotional triggers are most effective when established early in the relationship, while you're still actively involved in their life. If they have already withdrawn significantly, it may be more challenging to reverse the momentum. However, even if the connection is currently casual, there is still an opportunity to create these associations. Something as simple as changing your cologne can subtly spark a reaction. The key is to be intentional and proactive in shaping the way they remember you. Remember, the Stoics emphasized mastering what is within your control. By consciously creating these subtle yet powerful connections, you're shaping the narrative of your relationship, influencing the way they remember you calmly, confidently, and without chasing their attention. You're not forcing a connection, but rather creating an environment where positive associations naturally flourish. This proactive approach empowers you to take control of your own destiny, rather than passively waiting for someone else's approval. The ability to discern when to walk away is as important as knowing what to say or do. Many individuals mistakenly believe that prolonging an interaction will solidify the connection, but this is often counterproductive. The most impactful moments often occur when you leave them wanting more. This is a nuanced concept that requires careful judgment and an understanding of the dynamics at play. It also has to do with not overstaying your welcome in terms of conversational cues, or just simply knowing when the vibe in the room has shifted into a stale atmosphere. It's as simple as excusing yourself and leaving with a proper goodbye and exit, rather than lingering to drag the life out of a great moment. Imagine this scenario. You've reconnected with someone who had been drifting away, or perhaps an ex has finally responded to your messages. The conversation is flowing effortlessly, and the spark seems to be rekindled. Things are progressing exceptionally well. However, this is often the point where many people falter, succumbing to panic and clinging to the moment for dear life, believing that prolonging the interaction will further strengthen the connection. This is a critical error that can quickly derail the progress. The harsh truth is that overstaying your welcome is a surefire way to diminish your value. Instead of leaving them yearning for more, you gradually begin to appear needy and desperate. This shift in perception can have a devastating impact on attraction. Think of it like climbing a mountain. The ascent is exhilarating and the chemistry is palpable. You reach the peak, savoring the panoramic view. However, if you linger too long at the summit, you're no longer climbing, you're inevitably descending. The initial excitement wanes, and subtle hints of desperation begin to surface. Eventually, you reach a point where you might say something like, "Why can't we just give this another shot?" This signals a profound loss of power, and the attraction quickly dissipates. The strategic move is to master the art of leaving on a high note. When the interaction is at its peak, when the energy is palpable and the connection is strong, that is precisely the moment to gracefully withdraw. Don't allow the conversation or hangout to drag on, even if they initiated it. And while the energy is still vibrant and exciting. The rationale behind this approach is simple. If they feel like they didn't get enough, they will be left wanting more. That subtle sense of mystery and anticipation keeps you on their mind. However, the moment they receive their full fix, you relinquish the upper hand. This concept is not inherently complex, but it is easily mismanaged. Knowing when to leave can be the determining factor between them obsessing over when they will hear from you again and gradually forgetting your existence. The key is to exit while you're ahead, leaving them craving your presence and anticipating the next encounter. This is how you cultivate an unforgettable impression. The pervasive act of stalking someone on social media is a rapid path to undermining any potential for connection with a woman, with anyone really. It extends beyond simply avoiding the perception of being creepy. It's about safeguarding your own emotional well-being. Obsessively scrutinizing their every online move will inevitably lead you down a rabbit hole of emotional turmoil. The digital stalking can create a false narrative in your mind about the other person and may lead to erratic or obsessive tendencies. The moment you begin scrolling through their posts, you enter a mental minefield. You see a picture of them smiling with someone you don't recognize, and your mind instantly jumps to conclusions. Who is this person? Are they dating? Is this their new romantic partner? You transform a meaningless image into a full-blown drama within your own head, and before you realize it, you're spiraling into a state of anxiety and insecurity. Is this kind of emotional chaos truly worthwhile? The answer is unequivocally no. If you're attempting to project an image of coolness and nonchalance while simultaneously reconnecting with them, this behavior is the antithesis of that goal. Furthermore, stalking makes it virtually impossible to conceal the extent of your attention. When you're privy to every minute detail of their life, their weekend activities, their social circles, you're bound to inadvertently reveal your knowledge. You might casually mention, "So, how was that concert?" Believing you're being suave, but instead of being impressed, they're likely thinking, "Wait, how did they even know I was there?" In that instant, you've exposed yourself, signaling that you've been closely monitoring their online activity. Social media interactions themselves, such as liking every post and constantly commenting, don't project confidence or coolness. Instead, they scream, "I'm always here, waiting for you to notice me." You're not setting yourself apart. You're solidifying your position as the backup option, the one they know will always be available but never truly desired. The solution is detachment. Cease obsessing over their activities and social interactions. Allow them to wonder about you for a change. Become the individual who is so engrossed in their own life that your absence becomes noticeable. This is how you reverse the dynamic. Instead of constantly feeding their ego by being their audience, make them realize that you are the one in control of your own life. Shift your focus inward, concentrating on your own pursuits and passions, and allow them to wonder what you're up to. That is the path to genuine attraction. Many men fall into habits of being overly eager to please. Subconsciously, they might feel a sense of low self-worth, so they may have tendencies to act as a yes man to others. This behavior, however, can turn women off, and it is important to be mindful of this. Women are adept at detecting manipulation, especially when it's blatant. Many men mistakenly believe that making a woman jealous will reignite her interest, but this tactic often backfires spectacularly. The typical approach involves bragging about dates or highlighting the number of women vying for your attention. Instead of inspiring jealousy, this behavior simply portrays you as desperate and insecure. She immediately recognizes that you're fishing for a reaction, and instead of feeling drawn to you, she's likely thinking, "Wow, he's trying way too hard." In that moment, she feels like she has the upper hand, and you've effectively lost the game before it even began. The key is to cultivate an air of mystery, leaving room for intrigue and speculation. Avoid divulging every detail of your life on social media. Instead, post just enough to pique her curiosity, leaving her wanting to know more. For example, instead of posting a cliché selfie at a club with a group of people, opt for a more subtle approach, such as a photo of two glasses on a table or a concert with no one else in the frame. These ambiguous images will prompt her to wonder, who is he with? What's going on? That small dose of mystery will subtly occupy her thoughts. Women are naturally inclined to fill in the blanks. If she doesn't have the full story, her imagination will run wild. Is he seeing someone? Is he happier now? The more questions she has, the more she will think about you, and that is precisely the desired outcome. Another effective tactic is to avoid oversharing. If she inquires about your weekend, keep your response vague. Say something along the lines of, "Oh, I had a great time skiing." Avoid mentioning who you were with, allowing her mind to wander. Was it a date? Just friends? The uncertainty will drive her curiosity. While some might argue that this approach is manipulative and that you should simply be upfront and honest, the reality is that a little mystery and tension can keep things exciting. If you're an open book all the time, the spark fades quickly. Predictability is the ultimate romance killer. Therefore, forego posting flashy photos or trying too hard to showcase your exciting life. Instead, keep her guessing. The less she knows, the more she'll want to decipher you. When she's constantly wondering what you're up to, that's when she truly begins to miss you. To amplify these effects, introduce an element of competition into the equation. This is where the dynamic truly shifts. A woman is unlikely to miss you unless she perceives that she's potentially losing your attention to something or someone else. If she believes that she is your unwavering number one priority, the game is essentially over. However, if she senses that she has to actively work to earn your focus, the dynamic changes entirely. The key is to introduce a new element into your life that commands your time and energy. This could be a new hobby, an engaging social group, or even someone who has captured your interest. The crucial aspect is that you can't be perpetually available. If you're always at her beck and call, she will sense it and will never feel the need to compete for your attention. Instead of passively waiting at home, scrolling through her Instagram feed on a Friday night, engage in activities that ignite your passion. Join a rock climbing group, take salsa dancing lessons, or embark on a travel adventure with a new group of friends. Suddenly, you're no longer the guy waiting around for her text. You're the individual living a life so vibrant and fulfilling that she senses she might be missing out. This strategy works because women are inherently wired to desire what they can't easily possess. When she observes that you're thriving independently, it triggers a subtle voice in her head. Why isn't he thinking about me? Who else is he giving his time to? This is when the competitive instinct kicks in, and she feels compelled to fight for a place in your life once again. The most compelling aspect of this approach is that you're not feigning interest or pretending to be busy. You're genuinely cultivating a life that you love. This authenticity is what makes it so potent. She recognizes that you're not simply a backup plan for her. You're an individual in high demand, living your best life. Nothing attracts attention quite like that. Step up your game. Don't merely wait for her to notice you. Give her a reason to. Demonstrate that you're not simply waiting around. You're actively pursuing your goals and passions. This is how you turn the tables and make her realize that she might be the one who has to chase you. The next pivotal move involves becoming a different man, a transformation that is unexpected and impossible to ignore. Women often develop expectations based on past interactions, especially if they have previously held the upper hand. However, you are about to rewrite those rules. Cease being so predictable. Don't respond to every text message instantaneously. Stop bending over backward to shower her with attention. The secret lies in prioritizing your own life. Focus on your personal goals, passions, and growth. Even better, consider a physical transformation. If you've always been clean-shaven, try growing a beard. If you typically wear casual attire, surprise her by sporting a sharp suit. These changes may seem insignificant, but they speak volumes. They send a clear message. I'm not the same guy you thought you knew. When you evolve, both in your appearance and your behavior, it disrupts the established dynamic. Suddenly, you're no longer the predictable individual she had figured out. You're someone intriguing, someone new. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully comprehend. That spark of mystery will prompt her to wonder what else has changed about you. To elevate this transformation, eliminate subtle mistakes. Many men fall into familiar habits, believing they're being charming, but those same habits are often what sabotage their efforts. Are you overly eager to please? Do you respond to messages instantly? Do you consistently agree with everything she says? These seemingly innocuous patterns communicate that you're still the same person she can control. The solution is to take a step back. Stop relinquishing your power by being excessively available or agreeable. The moment you establish boundaries and assert your own opinions, the dynamic shifts. She will notice the change in your demeanor and begin to perceive you in a new light. In summary, introduce a healthy element of competition. Dedicate yourself to becoming the best version of yourself and eliminate those ingrained habits that keep you trapped in the same patterns. These are not merely random tricks. They're strategies for transforming how you present yourself, not only in relationships, but in life as a whole. When you embrace these principles, you won't just make her miss you. You'll become unforgettable. These strategies also have applicability to other interpersonal dynamics, and it will help to improve your self-esteem and confidence. It's essential to recognize that these steps are not solely about making someone miss you. They're about cultivating a version of yourself that you are proud to be. When you reflect on how far you've come, when you apply these principles, you're not seeking anyone's validation. You're mastering your own worth. Stoicism aligns perfectly with this mindset. The Stoics emphasized focusing on what you can control and relinquishing what you cannot. You cannot dictate another person's thoughts or feelings, but you can control your actions, your growth, and the energy you bring into any relationship. When you master this mindset, you cease trying to force someone to miss you. You naturally create an environment where they can't help but notice your absence. That is the power of living intentionally. This approach transcends romantic relationships. It's about presenting yourself in every aspect of your life as someone who commands respect, exudes confidence, and fosters connections based on authenticity. Imagine the empowering feeling of walking into any room or situation, knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. That is the outcome of shifting the focus back to yourself. The question then becomes, what is the first step you will take today? Will you begin by honing a new skill, eliminating those self-sabotaging habits, or simply taking a moment to contemplate the kind of person you aspire to be? Your journey inspires not only myself, but everyone within this community. Remember, the person you are becoming is far more important than the one you are leaving behind. Key takeaways. Prioritize self-worth. The foundation of attraction is self-respect and independence. Don't seek external validation. Cultivate internal strength and happiness. Embrace detachment. Release the grip of attachment to specific outcomes. Focus on the present moment and accept what you cannot control. Create emotional triggers. Subtly plant reminders of your presence through scent, shared experiences, and inside jokes. Master the art of leaving. Exit interactions on a high note, leaving the other person wanting more. Avoid social media obsession. Detach from their online activity to protect your emotional well-being and avoid projecting neediness. Cultivate mystery. Don't reveal every detail of your life. Leave room for intrigue and speculation. Introduce healthy competition. Engage in activities and relationships that command your time and attention, demonstrating your independence and value. Transform yourself. Evolve your appearance and behavior to disrupt expectations and create a sense of intrigue. Eliminate subtle mistakes. Stop being overly eager to please and establish healthy boundaries. Embrace stoicism. Focus on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and values, and let go of what you cannot. By embracing these principles, you embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth, transforming yourself into someone who is not only desired, but also admired and respected. The art of absence is not about manipulation. It's about cultivating a presence that is both captivating and authentic. It is about building meaningful connections from a place of internal strength. Let's make it happen.